Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Guys Who Stared Stats. I'm Cade Kennedy here, and folks, before we get into this, as always, if you enjoy these types of AP poll reaction videos, feel free to like the videos, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, all those good things. And also, I am still under the weather a bit, so I do apologize if I don't sound 100%. There's a good reason for that. It's because I'm not. But we have to start, of course, with number one, and you can see it. Texas, the new number one. It's been a long time since Texas has been number one in the AP poll. But when you look at what happened between Texas and Georgia, Georgia getting the escaping win at Kentucky, the questionable decision by Mark Stoops to punt the ball when you're at midfield, Georgia's defense having to save the day, that doesn't surprise me. And then Texas doing the exact opposite, blowing out UTSA. I mean, 56-7 in a game where Arch Manning had to come in. Quinn Ewers gets hurt early on, and Arch Manning played phenomenally. You could say, granted, it is UTSA. That's a team he should play well against. But having two really good quarterbacks is going to make the case. Texas getting a lot more of those votes. Georgia was in a struggle for a long time. I'm not surprised to see Texas number one. This is something I started to think about last night. I think a lot of AP poll voters were going to have that same mindset, and that's why you get exactly what you have. Texas, the new number one going into week number 4. Now, as we continue to look on here, Ohio State, Alabama, Ole Miss, everything remain the same. Alabama, Ole Miss taking care of business, just beating up on their opponents. Alabama just going to Wisconsin. Yes, the injury to Tyler Van Dyke might have changed that game a little bit, but I think Alabama was going to roll in that one regardless. Same thing with Ole Miss going to Wake Forest, easily taking care of business. The next movement we have Tennessee moving up to 6. There's a good reason for that. You can see that score right beside him. That is not a typo. It is 71-0. Tennessee on top of Kent State, 65-0 at halftime, scoring 37 points in the first quarter. This is a Tennessee team that absolutely is obliterating the point differential between teams this year. That is where Tennessee is at. You knew they were going to have the offense. You knew that they were going to let Nico do his thing. They have great receivers, great running backs, everything you need offensively. And now you pair that with a good to possibly even great defense as well. Tennessee, no surprise, continuing to move up the ranks. But it's interesting to see that jump again, considering what Missouri did right behind them at number 7. They moved down a spot for beating a top 25 team in Boston College. This is a game where Mizzou started out. They struggled a little bit at the beginning, but got better as the game went on, made a few mistakes, recovered from them, got the win there. Miami moving up to 8, jumping 2 spots there, absolutely obliterating Ball State in a game that not a whole lot of people saw. Some weather delays in there as well, lightning delays, whatever you want to call them. Miami taking care of business. Same thing for Oregon at number 9. They finally looked like the team everyone expected them to be. In a game where, it's a rivalry, civil war against Oregon State. You're on the road. A back and forth first half for a little bit, and then Oregon really took off and started to look like the Oregon I think everyone expected to see this year. But you can look, only a 1-point differential between Miami and Oregon. You knew Miami was going to jump at least one spot, but they barely get that second jump as well. Penn State falling to number 10. I think this is just more of a result of other things that happened around them. Same thing with USC at 11. Utah staying put at 12 as well. Not a whole lot to take away from this for Utah. You didn't have Cam Rising. It's a rivalry game at Utah State. You knew it was going to be competitive for a little bit. Utah State jumps out big early. Utah comes back. The defense settles in, does its thing. Utah staying put at 12, I'm completely fine with. Kansas State and Oklahoma State switching places. K-State now at 13, Oklahoma State at 14. K-State, this is deserved. I would not have been shocked if they jumped a little bit higher for their complete dismantling of Arizona on Friday night. I thought that game would be a lot closer. I thought that would probably be the game of the week, either that or maybe Missouri-Boston College. And Kansas State just went to town. Arizona scores early on in the game, and K-State's defense just locking in. Offense played well. Avery Johnson, I mean, what else can you say about him? Still just a young QB, but making great plays. Kansas State, of course, the run game working well for them. Not surprised to see K-State move up at least that one spot there. Oklahoma staying put at 15. This is a game where Oklahoma, I mean, Worried about it a little bit early on. How's the offense going to play? You still have that Houston game in the back of your mind, but they played well. They came out, set the tone for the game in the first half. You're up 21 to nothing at one point. Tulane gets a score on a trick play right before halftime. And then that doubt starts to roll, and you get a field goal, okay, 24-6, and then Tulane comes back. It's a game now. Jackson Arnold throws a really bad, horrible pick six, just throws it just straight to a Tulane player who just walks it in. And everyone starts thinking, oh no, here we go again. It's 24-19. This is a game that had game day implications. Game day is going to be in Norman for OU Tennessee this week. But OU, credit to them, the defense stands up. The offense makes plays late, something they could not do last week. Staying put at 15, I think, is fine for them for now, especially considering what happened right behind them. LSU at 16. And oh boy, LSU looked like they were going to be in for a rough one. You get down 17-0 early at South Carolina. That's not a fun place to be at. It looked like things were going to go really bad for LSU. But they start to roll back. Defense makes a few big plays. It does not help that South Carolina's quarterback gets hurt. That's always, you hate to see it, but it is going to help you in a way. LSU starts to come back. You get some questionable officiating. Not going to say that, it was completely bad, but from what I was able to see, not a whole lot of good calls there made late in the game. But regardless of that, LSU able to win the game. South Carolina still had a chance to send it into overtime, misses the field goal, and LSU escaping with the win there. Notre Dame jumping back up a spot. You talk about a complete turnaround. Last week, we're talking about how Notre Dame could be falling apart. You lose to Northern Illinois, and here you are just absolutely destroying Purdue, 66-7. Notre Dame this one was over as quick as it started. Notre Dame fine with where they're at 17. Michigan falling down to 18. This is one where the score you see there, you go, wow, 28-18 against Arkansas State. That must have been a horrible game. But Michigan was in control this one. It was one where you knew the defense wasn't going to give up a whole lot. Michigan's offense took a while to get going again. But then you start putting backups in. Arkansas State scores late a few times. You get that result. And it's an ugly looking result there for Michigan, so I'm not shocked that they fell another spot. Louisville staying put at 19, no surprise there. Iowa State jumping up a spot to 20 again. That's with Arizona falling out, Boston College falling out, Clemson going up to 21, Nebraska up to 22, Northern Illinois now at number 23, and welcome in Illinois and Texas A&M at 24 and 25. Texas A&M had the, I don't want to say weird game against Florida, because Texas A&M, you're down to a backup quarterback. They come in, they set the tone. Florida's not good. We've all learned that. Florida's not good this year. But then it gets weird at the end. You have the weather delay. You have all these other things going on. Florida starts trying to make a bit of a comeback, and A&M shuts it down with 3 minutes left. Aggies back in the top 25. You look at receiving votes. Memphis, Boise State, Syracuse, UNLV, and Boston College in the first 5 there. And shout out to Washington State. They're getting 30 votes there. They get a big win. They win the Apple Cup over Washington. That's a good win for them. Memphis, I would have liked to seen them in the top 25 personally, just for what they did beating up Florida State. You can look at that and say, well, it was 20-12. That's not really a beatdown. It was 20-3 midway through the third quarter. Florida State finally figured out something on offense. It looked like Memphis was going to absolutely smack them for a little bit. But either way, folks, it's going to be a fun week. Hopefully this cold will finally be over with that I've been dealing with. But we should have a video out Monday. I know usually I try to say that, but we should have one. Tyler should be back for that as well. So, folks, until next time that I see you, have a good one, everybody. Folks, it's going to be a long ride this season, so you're going to want to stay put, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, all those good things. But once again, have a good one.